It's one of the most extravagant displays of wealth and luxury on the planet. From the sun, the sea, the sand, to the cars and lavish hotels, all designed to attract billions of tourist dollars. But Vegas, this is not. This is the busiest international airport in the world. Hello everybody, I'm Youssef Gameneddin and welcome to Access Middle East. In this episode, we get a VIP pass to Dubai, find out how it's been able to lure guests from around the world. Every year, some 70 million people pass through Dubai's sprawling international airport, designed to cater for a surging number of tourists and expats that consider Dubai home. But the reality is, if you were to look at this spot just a couple of decades ago, it would be almost unrecognizable, dominated by desert, with the emirate itself nothing more than a small Gulf port. Today's Dubai was the vision of former leader Sheikh Rashid. In 1985, confronted with limited and rapidly declining oil reserves, Sheikh Rashid created a plan to reinvent Dubai as an unrivaled tourist spectacle and commercial hub. Part of the answer would become the launch of a small government-backed airline called Emirates. Over time, once skeptical tourists began to pour into the region, bringing with them big tourism dollars that completely overhauled the Emirates' finances into a tourism economy. But as Dubai soared, neighboring cities began taking notice. It seemed Dubai was onto a winner. In 2002, it became clear the Emirate either had to go big or give up. Sheikh Mohammed passed a decree to allow foreign investors to develop property in the Emirate, something previously forbidden. The mandate became the bigger, the better. It was the ultimate invitation that kicked off an ambitious construction boom, with projects like the Burj Khalifa, the world's tallest tower, and the Burj Al Arab, known as the world's only 7-star hotel. It's something that spurred the attraction for those with big money to spend from across the globe and around the region, creating arguably the most concentrated luxury hospitality market in the world. And with big money comes big migration. The growth has attracted masses of expat labor looking to get a piece of the Dubai dream. Expats like British chef Daniel Lewis. After working for the likes of Michelin star chef Richard Corrigan, Lewis first moved to the Emirate in 2004, working for government hotel chain Jumeirah. He returned in 2013 to work for a family chain that controls dozens of restaurants in the region. Lewis says there's nothing quite like it.
It blows me away, if I'm honest. I mean, just preparing it from my perspective of the kitchen is very different to what I do at home. At home, I've got so many influences from all the other regions and the people from different cultures who I live with and I'm socialised with on a daily basis. So it's phenomenal. It's at a different level to most places I've lived.
Chefs like Dan can earn as much as 3 times the going rate in other countries. Add to that tax-free income and often subsidized housing, it's a pay packet that seems easy to swallow for expat patrons too.
And what are some of the biggest bills you've taken here?
If you've got guys who've had a couple of bottles of Petrus and this, I mean, you're looking at well into the hundreds, over 100,000 dirhams, easily. But yeah.
So in excess of $25,000.
Oh yeah, for sure, yeah. And this happens especially, I think, if some of these guys, because it's a business area, financial centre of Dubai, if they've hit a good deal, I think we can relay that of our takings.
Is there anything different about doing business in Dubai compared to, say, London, within sort of the cuisine industry?
Yes, I think so. I think we have to adapt it a lot more to the clientele, the local clientele, because they're very demanding, they know what they want. They'll experiment within certain perimeters, but they're not extravagantly experimental with their food.
Of course, what they might lack in experimentation can be made up for in sheer overwhelming extravagance. In a city where $1,000 lunches are on the table, pay top dollar and no is something you probably won't hear too often, especially if you might just happen to be the leader of the state.
What's the craziest thing you've done for a customer?
Probably travelled across the desert for 7.5 hours chasing the ruler of Dubai to set up a buffet for him. And every time we set it up, he moved on somewhere else.
But that logistical flexibility isn't just limited to the diner. Despite the almost 90% expat population, catering for a cultural melting pot like Dubai isn't without its complications. This is a Muslim country, and that does make for some innovative menu adaptation.
The main thing is alcohol, the use of alcohol and the non-use. So I usually make two sauces, one alcohol-based and one non-alcohol-based. Still using grapes, but like a verjus or something. So there's no alcohol inside and no use of pork.
Are they ready?
Hotels and restaurants register as the fastest growing sector in the city's economy at 15% in 2014. And that puts big money on the table for those looking to make a quick buck.
A lack of creativity, if I'm honest, in some ways, in the guys you get in as your core staff. A lot of them do come here for money. They don't actually come here for the passion for the job. They come here, for them it's a job. It's not a passion, which can in some ways reflect on the end product.
Nonetheless, the appetite for fine dining is something Daniel's employer Ramal Hospitality is still willing to bet big on.
You've spoken a lot about the growth and the excitement that is in the cuisine industry in Dubai. Are you looking at expanding further at this point? Opening new branches, new restaurants, new ideas?
Yeah. I mean, it was part of the reason I joined the company. The energy they've got going forward and the plans. We're on a large expansion plan over the coming few years. So 100%.
So how many more restaurants do you think you'll add?
I'm not 100% sure from the holding family, but from my perspective, I'd love to open 20 to 30 in the next 3 years.
Do you love your job?
After the last 35 years, yes.